Day 30. A bank account screen on a phone. Held at a slight angle under a kitchen light in a Tampa suburb. The balance is $247 higher than it was 1 month ago. 3 subscription apps remain on the home screen. 30 days earlier there were 14. The phone goes dark, the kitchen light stays on. This is what the timeline looked like. The person holding that phone works retail in a strip mall anchored by a Target. 23 years old, grosses about $35,000 a year before taxes. After federal, state, and FICA, take-home lands somewhere near $27,000. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median retail salesperson salary in 2024 was $34,580. That is roughly $2,250 a month. Deposited every other Friday into a checking account at a regional bank. On the first day of this experiment, their monthly subscription total came to $219. That is not a typo, $219 a month on things that live inside a phone. According to a C+R research study, the average American spends that amount on subscriptions, almost 10% of take-home pay, routed automatically to servers in Virginia and Northern California. Every one of those subscriptions occupied shelf space, not physical shelf space, the other kind. The kind measured in card numbers stored, passwords remembered, notification permissions granted, and the quiet background hum of 14 different companies pinging a phone between the hours of 6 a.m. and midnight. Day 1, the parking lot of the strip mall, 8:15 in the morning. A thumb scrolling through the settings app on an iPhone. Looking for subscriptions the way someone looks through a junk drawer. They have been avoiding for 2 years. Netflix, Spotify, Hulu, Disney+, YouTube Premium. An audiobook app opened once in March. A meditation app with 407 days of inactivity. A cloud storage upgrade that exists because a phone ran out of space during a concert in 2024. A meal kit service still active from a free trial that expired 11 months ago. 14 subscriptions. The total, $219.14. The person earning $35,000 a year estimated, when asked, that they were spending about $80 a month. C+R research found that the gap between what Americans think they spend on subscriptions and what they actually spend is a factor of 2.5. 89% underestimate. According to West Monroe, 66% are off by more than $200. Every app was deleted in a single sitting. The home screen afterward looked like a parking lot after a store closes. Rows of empty space where icons used to be. The rain on day 2 in the Tampa suburbs is the kind that does not commit, it mists. The windshield wipers go on and off. Inside the car, the phone sits in a cufolder with no podcast playing. Spotify is gone. The drive to work takes 22 minutes in silence. By day 3, the habit loop surfaces. A thumb lands on the spot where Netflix used to be. The spot is now the weather app. The thumb hovers, the weather app opens. It is 78 degrees and partly cloudy. This information is not what the thumb was looking for. Day 7, the apartment kitchen. A laptop open on the counter next to a bowl of cereal. The browser has 12 tabs. The Federal Trade Commission surveyed 642 subscription apps and websites in 2024. 76% used at least one dark pattern, 67% used more than one. 70% did not clearly explain how to cancel. The person in Tampa is discovering this firsthand. One service required 4 screens, 2 confirmation pop-ups, and a 15-second countdown timer to complete a cancellation. The countdown timer had no purpose other than making the person stare at a button. That said, "Are you sure?" while a progress bar crawled across the screen. Like it was downloading regret. A sprinkler runs on the lawn next door. The sound comes through the window screen. Day 10, the free alternatives start arriving. A library card, physical, plastic, borrowed from a branch 6 minutes from the apartment. unlocks an app called Libby with access to audiobooks and ebooks at no cost. Public radio streams through a browser tab. YouTube, the free version, plays a 40-minute documentary about bridge engineering. With 2 ad breaks, the person watches the entire thing. They had never watched a documentary about bridge engineering before. The algorithm did not choose it, they did. The shelf space is starting to change shape. Where 14 subscriptions used to sit, there is open room, not empty, open. Day 14, a group chat with 4 coworkers. One of them asks if anyone has seen the new season of a show on a streaming platform. 3 respond yes. The person in Tampa responds with a GIF. The figures cited in this analysis are sourced from public consumer surveys and market research, not individual financial guidance. But the data on what happens next is consistent across the research. According to Civic Science, 37% of Gen Z subscribers who canceled a streaming service resubscribed not because they wanted the content, but because of social situations exactly like this one. A separate Fortune report citing Civic Science data found 87% of Gen Z respondents reported some level of subscription fatigue. The group chat moves on. The person in Tampa closes the phone. The show is not the issue. The issue is the pause before the GIF. The 3 seconds of wondering whether not having seen a show is a thing that needs to be explained. Day 17, the apartment is quiet. The TV is off. It has been off for 4 days. There is a stack of mail on the counter that has been opened. One piece of mail is from a streaming service. It says, "We miss you," and offers a 30-day free trial. The irony of a subscription service offering a free trial to someone who already paid full price for 2 years is the kind of irony that does not announce itself. It just sits there in an envelope next to a gas bill. The ceiling fan clicks on its lowest setting. The blades turn slowly enough to count. Day 21, the evaluation phase begins. A spreadsheet. 1 column for the subscription name, 1 column for the monthly cost, 1 column for how often it was used in the previous 90 days. The meditation app, 407 days since last opened. Billed at $14.99 a month. Total paid since last use, approximately $200. For an app whose entire purpose is reducing stress, the math itself is stressful. Netflix at $19.99 a month. That same plan cost $7.99 in 2011, $9.99 in 2016. $12.99 in 2019, $15.49 in 2022, $17.99 in 2025, $19.99 now, according to Netflix and confirmed by CNET's 2026 streaming price tracker. 150% increase in 15 years. The content library is larger, the price trajectory is steeper. The question on the spreadsheet is not whether Netflix is good. The question is whether $19.99 a month, roughly $240 a year, represents the best use of that shelf space for someone earning $35,000. Spotify Premium, $12.99 a month as of January 2026, according to CNET. Disney Plus with ads, $11.99 a month as of October 2025. YouTube Premium, $15.99 a month as of April 2026. The 4 most common streaming subscriptions alone total about $61 a month, roughly $732 a year. For someone taking home $27,000. That is 2.7% of annual income allocated to content. That plays while folding laundry. The spreadsheet, when finished, shows exactly what the shelf looks like. When every item is weighed. 3 subscriptions survived, the ones used more than 3 times a week. The rest, 11 of them, were paying rent on shelf space. They had stopped occupying months ago. Day 24, the phone buzzes, a notification from a credit card company. The monthly statement is smaller by $172. The notification is the same size as every other notification. There is no confetti, no congratulations screen. The bank does not care that the balance went up. The bank made more money when the balance was lower and the overdraft fees were closer. A NerdWallet survey published in April 2026 found that 55% of Americans plan to significantly cut back on subscriptions this year. 63% of parents want to cancel right now. The survey does not track how many will actually follow through. Antenna, a subscription analytics firm, tracks that instead. Their data shows that 41% of people who cancel a streaming service resubscribe within 12 months. 23% come back within 90 days. The cancellation is the easy part. The resubscription has its own gravity. It does not pull hard, it pulls constantly. Day 27, nothing happens, the apartment is the same, the phone is the same. The person goes to work, comes home, makes dinner, reads something on Libby, and goes to sleep. The absence of 14 apps has become normal in 27 days. The thing about shelf space is that once it is empty long enough, the memory of what used to be there starts to blur. A CNET survey conducted in partnership with YouGov found that the average American spends $204 a year on subscriptions they do not use. That is $17 a month going to companies for the privilege of not opening their app. 42% of consumers have at least one subscription. They have entirely forgotten about, according to C+R research. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals vacated the FTC's click to cancel rule on the 8th of July, 2025. A rule which would have required companies to make canceling as easy as signing up. So the 4-screen, 2-pop-up, 15-second countdown cancellation process remains not a bug but a feature. A feature designed by companies whose revenue model depends on the distance between intending to cancel and actually canceling. Day 30, the kitchen again, the same phone, the same angle under the same light. $247 that did not leave the account. Over a full year, at that rate, the savings would reach $2,964. For context, that is 8.5% of this person's gross annual income. It is also almost exactly the average American's annual subscription spend of $2,628, according to C+R research. 3 apps remain. The rest of the home screen is weather, maps, messages, and a library app that costs nothing. The camera pulls back, the kitchen light casts a rectangle on the floor. The phone is on the counter, the balance notification is still on the lock screen. Outside, the suburb is quiet. A porch light across the street turns off. The sprinkler system clicks on at the house next door, same as every night. Somewhere, on a server in Northern Virginia, 11 subscription accounts are still technically active, waiting in a queue marked win-back, eligible, 43 days. The kitchen light turns off.